It's Entspresso Billionaire Week Part 2, where I dig into my archives to bring you 5 lessons from 5 of the richest people in the world over the next 5 days. Up today with a net worth of $68.9 billion is Larry Ellison.
Suddenly we'd hit a wall. We would reach $1 billion in revenue, and we were having serious management problems all over the place. And the people who were running the company, the $1 billion company, were the same people that had run the company when we were a $50 million company, 1/20th the size. And I had an incredible sense of loyalty to those people who had worked with me to build Oracle. And it was a very painful realization in 1990 that I was going to have to change the management team, that the company had outgrown the management, that people who are good at running a $50 million company are not necessarily, those aren't the same skills. They're just different. Not one is better or worse. They're just entirely different skill set in running a $50 million company than a $1 billion company. And both skill sets are rare and precious. But we needed a different group of managers, and virtually the entire management team had to be replaced. And that means I had to ask people who I'd worked with for a decade to leave. I had to fire people. And that was the most difficult thing I had to do in business, asking a bunch of people to leave Oracle.
One of the most difficult challenges of being an entrepreneur and building a team and running a company is going to be your team, right? As you grow, your impact on the business goes down as a percentage of what your team does. Your role as one man or one woman in a 100-person company, you're not doing as much, you're not adding as much value as when you're a solo entrepreneur. And so if you want to really grow, it's going to be about the team that you build, their abilities to contribute towards your goal and do their job in a really effective way. And so getting the right people on board is really paramount, and then as they grow, giving them positions that meet their skill sets, their desires, their ambitions. I want to share a quick story of a guy who's on my team named Ray. I first met Ray through his girlfriend. I hired his girlfriend, and over time she started slipping. She wasn't doing a great job, maybe she had personal issues, and her work quality was declining to the point where I was about to fire her. And Ray took over for her as she left and moved the country. I forget what happened there. And Ray took over, and my expectations for Ray were really low. I gutted a lot of the position to be only really minimal stuff that were not of super high importance to the business because of the responsibilities that this woman could not keep up with. Ray then blew my mind. Ray then not only did all those responsibilities in an amazing way and started giving me feedback and new suggestions and new ideas, to the point where then I wanted to give him more assignments and more tasks and increase his responsibility. And now it's to the point where, Ray is in the Philippines and he was initially hired to do just administrative, really low-end stuff. Now he's being groomed and promoted to become in charge of my entire website. And so that's a major promotion for him, where most people might have a North American team and then outsource things to the Philippines, where now I'm taking somebody from the Philippines, making him in charge of my North American team. And that's because he's just gone over and above. And I've got to groom him and train him and get him ready to take on that role. It's not going to happen overnight. But it's just a matter of recognizing the talents on your team and doing an ongoing evaluation of, how can I stretch this person or not? Are they willing to take feedback? Are they willing to grow? And do I always have the right people in the right positions? And asking that question to yourself and trying to push your team on a constant basis to get better will help you fill out your management group and build an organization that can really get amazing things done and you can be proud of. So get the right people in the right positions. Believe. So my question today for you guys today is, do you have the right people in the right positions? And the second question is, who was the first person that you hired and what are they doing for you? Whether it's full-time, part-time, hour a week, freelancer, I'm really curious to find out. Leave in the comments below and I'm gonna join in the discussion. Thank you so much for watching. Have an amazing day. Continue to believe, and I'll see you again tomorrow morning for another shot of Entspresso.
Bill Gates was asked what was the winning formula of Microsoft, when Microsoft was really the heavyweight champion of their industry. I think they're a little lost right now. But the larger point again is he replied with this: what made Microsoft Microsoft was not our software. What made Microsoft Microsoft was our hiring. I just want to suggest to you the second point or trait of a world-class company is their ability to hire A players. Here is the brain tattoo I want you to absolutely hardwire into your business philosophy as a leader. You cannot build an A-level company with C-level talent. If your company is not winning in your field right now, you likely have weaknesses in your hiring. Don't just hire people because it's the easiest move to make. A lot of companies spend very little time on hiring and then most of their time managing their hiring mistakes. And you know, if you're building a business, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a manager, if you're a CEO, like a lot of the people who watch these mastery sessions and come to my live events, you know I'm speaking truth here. So you really want to nail your hiring.
Well, in the early days, I mean, as an entrepreneur, you're every department. So I was the before and after butt model, literally. I took a picture of my own butt, took it to Kinko's, got it laminated with and without Spanx on, stood in the stores, and I'm like, hey, look what this can do for you. I was like the packer and shipper. I was the head of sales. I was everything. And you learn very quickly what you're good at and what you're not good at and what you enjoy and what you don't enjoy. And there's usually a correlation between the two. And so I often say, as soon as you can afford to, hire your weaknesses. And a few years into Spanx, it was abundantly clear that the lane that I needed to stay in was inventing, selling, promoting. Spanx actually is never advertised. Spanx is 18 years old, and the first time we've ever even sampled an ad was in 16. And so I was sort of the advertisement, and me being out in the field talking about the product and sharing the story of the why we're making this, why it's better, was a big part of the formula. And I needed someone to be in the company day to day, running the daily operations.
We look for compliance and willingness before intelligence.
So you don't look for skill, you look for someone who's
I don't look for potential.
hungry.
I never look for potential.
What do you look for then? Just like, yes, I'm willing to do whatever it takes.
We hire the way the Patriots do.
Right,
You know, they don't hire the best guys.
right.
They never do. They get all the rings though.
They do.
Okay, there's 3 people in charge on that team. There's not 33. It is a dictator. There's a dictator on that team. If you study all sports, I mean, it's pretty much like that too. You know, I mean, Portland doesn't really have that. You know, he leaves Curry alone, and he leaves, you know, Durant alone, and they're doing good. You know, I mean, it's a different style, right? But somebody's
those are with superstars, yeah.
Man, it's got to be so hard.
Yeah, because everyone's got a personality, everyone's got their opinion. And,
Yeah, but so let's see how long that legacy can last.
Yeah.
What are they? 3 years now?
yeah.
So you know,
Third year, yeah.
let's see if they tear themselves apart. But I know that New England Patriots thing works.
Consistently.
There's an owner. He's not involved.
He
gives
trusts
it to
the coach.
This guy Bill runs the deal,
Yeah.
and then Bill gives the ball to Brady and says, "Go
Make
do
a
the
play."
deal."
Yeah.
You know. So they hire from the lower half of the draft. They don't overpay for anybody, and if you don't comply, you're getting off the team. They're going to win without a great person.
If you want to change your life for the next 30 days, check out my free training right here below. Or if you want to learn from the 10th richest person in the world, Larry Page, check the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.